Hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of the Wednesday Weekly on YouTube. Now this is the last July 2016 issue that I'm converting from WordPress to YouTube, and it looks at 5 icons of the PlayStation. Now PlayStation has been around since the mid 1990s, so there have been quite a few characters that have kind of been exclusive to PlayStation and defined what it is. You say a character name and somebody says, oh yeah, they're on PlayStation. So I've tried to keep the list to PlayStation exclusive characters, but there is one in here that isn't. See if you can spot who it is. They might stick out a little bit. And in the meantime, let's crack on with number 1. Number 1 is the lady over my left shoulder, Lara Croft. I'm going to try and not talk too much about the games because it's more about the characters at this point. But let me just say that the Tomb Raider, the first game, really pushed the limits of the PS1, and I like to think that they still push the limits of the consoles, and they're still fantastic games apart from the Angel of Darkness. But we're not talking about the games, we're talking about the characters. So Lara is, first and foremost, she is quite posh, isn't she? She grew up into a posh family. She's Lady Croft, and she's rather rich. She's got a manor house. She doesn't seem that bothered about being Lady Croft though, and living in the big fancy house. Because what she really wants to do is travel the world and be a world-renowned archaeologist and historian and find treasures that everybody thought was lost. And that was really the basis of all of the games. She's finding treasures that are lost. In the 2013 reboot, she kind of refound herself, I guess. It's like a reboot, so she finds herself becoming an adventurer when she didn't really want to be. And it's just fantastic. And she was the first, or one of the first, female playable lead characters in video games in a genre that is mainly dominated by males. When you look at it, all the action adventure games, they're normally male lead characters. Tomb Raider kind of stood out a bit, and the story was that initially they had a guy wearing a cowboy hat, and one of the other developers said, that looks a lot like Indiana Jones. So they made her a woman, gave her the name Lara Croft, and, we gamers, we love her. Obviously, because she's still here 21 years later. So they did something right, and they're still doing something right for us to keep going. Moving on to number 2, the second icon of PlayStation is Crash Bandicoot, everybody's favourite marsupial. If you're a PlayStation player or not, he is just amazing, isn't he? I've still got the PlayStation 1 plugged in. I still fire up the old Crash Bandicoot from time to time. Might not have to do that soon. June 2017, the remaster of Crash Bandicoot is coming to the PS4. Get in, really excited about that. But in the meantime, I still play the PlayStation 1 version. He's an icon because, he kind of took over PlayStation. He took him by storm when the game was released, and they carried on releasing them. There's about 4 or 5 of them at least now, and he made it all the way up to PlayStation 2. Didn't go on to PlayStation 3, but he will be on PS4, as I said, in the remaster. He's on the PlayStation Portable, because you can download it as a PS1 Classic, so I guess it kind of has made it to 3, but he hasn't had a standalone game since the PS2. But he is still an icon of PlayStation because he is exclusive to PlayStation. So that's good. And, who doesn't like playing as a marsupial, or as Nathan Drake in Uncharted 4 called him, a fox. Speaking of Nathan Drake, the man himself is number 3 on the list. Now, Uncharted didn't come in until the PlayStation 3, but it's quickly become one of the best games and the best game series I've ever played. It's partly because of the story, because Nate, as he's known in the game, was designed as an everyman. You can imagine yourself being him, because he's not the big tough, I'm going to do everything and I'm going to stay completely calm, whatever situation, even if a rocket goes firing past my head. We see Nathan progress as the games go on into someone who gets used to being shot at and stays reasonably calm under pressure, and there's quite a lot of sarcasm in the games. I'm quite a sarcastic person, so I identified with that. And he's just brilliant. He's become an icon because I think of his exclusivity and because how good the games are. It's another Naughty Dog game like Crash Bandicoot, so I think that really helps. And Nolan North, voicing Nathan Drake, did a really, really good job. And he's become an icon in the same way that Lara Croft has, because he is an action adventurer who goes on his own adventures, and also I think he maybe a slight homage because he finds stuff that people think are lost as well. So maybe he's like a male version of Lara Croft and a newer version of Lara Croft. But still, we love him, and he's an icon of the PlayStation. Number 4 on the list, because we're moving on very, very quickly, is Sackboy. Now, Sackboy is from the Little Big Planet games, and it is literally as it sounds. He is made of a big sack, and he's sewn together, and in the games you can control if he's happy or sad or whatever by pressing the up, down, left and right arrows, and it's just the games are really, really good fun to play, and Sackboy has become like an unofficial mascot, or maybe an official mascot, who knows, maybe Sony have made him an official one. To me, he's like an unofficial mascot of the PlayStation, just because of how adorable he actually is, and how good the games are for all age groups, because when you see videos of it, you think maybe it's aimed towards kids. I'm 24 and I'm playing them, so they're doing something right to get everybody involved. Absolutely superb. Well done, Sony, because it's a Sony made game after all. So yeah, maybe he is an official mascot. Might be worth looking into. Moving on, number 5. Number 5 is Solid Snake. Now, I know what you're going to say, how can he be an icon of PlayStation, because it's on the Xbox as well? Well, the PlayStation has been around longer than the Xbox, and the first Metal Gear Solid was on the PlayStation first. It did come out on Microsoft Windows as well, but originally it was on the PlayStation. 1999 comes before 2000, ergo, icon of PlayStation, because the games are still being made, and Metal Gear really kind of redefined the stealth genre of games, or maybe it did define it, created a new era, and led on to a load more. And you play as him, as a member of the Foxhound unit, and he has to go and infiltrate all these bases and save the innocent guys and beat the bad guys. It's your typical you're a good guy, go save the world kind of video game. But he's a really cool guy. He sneaks around wearing a bandana. Who does that? You don't see that very often at all. And that's why I put him on the list, because, for me, he kind of was an icon, because he helped define or redefine, possibly, the stealth genre of video game. So that's why he's on here. That's the end of the list, guys. If I've missed your favourite, or, you don't agree with my choices here, feel free to leave a comment in the section below. And, maybe we'll do a part 2 sometime, because there isn't one at the minute. But, feel free to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a future episode, and I'll see you for episode 5. See you later.